And you never create an opportunity for you to live now in the present moment, to create new experiences for you, to create new synapses in your brain that will give you a new experience here in this reality. You never ever give yourself an opportunity to do that because you're constantly telling yourself the old stories. It's just like watching an old program on television. Some of the old programs back from the 70s, they're starting to now re-air those. They're replaying those, and it causes you, if you watch those, to become nostalgic. Like, I remember when. So now you're connecting yourself emotionally back into that state. And that's what happens when you're telling yourself and repeating the story in your head about that experience, the experience that you've had. Now, I'm not negating that the experience was not harmful to you, but what I am trying to communicate to you that it's important that you not replay the story over and over in your mind, because it's only causing your nervous system, you psychologically, you physically, because it affects you physically. The stories that we tell ourselves about experiences affect us physically, emotionally, psychologically, and it affects our nervous system. Okay. And if you want to reset that, your nervous system, you're going to have to not tell yourself those stories. So, some ways to reset your nervous system are mindfulness. Mindfulness is living in the present moment and not replaying the narratives, of the past story, of the past movie, of the past life experiences, because that's what they really are. All are life experiences. They're life lessons. They're not things that you are supposed to hold resentment towards whomever created the experience with you about. You're not supposed to hold resentment in your heart about that experience. Whomever it was that was in that movie or that was in that story, that narrative at that time. All you have is the present moment. There is no tomorrow. There is no yesterday. None of those things exist. All you have is today. All you have is the moment that you're currently in. And the only way those things become relevant to the present is based upon the energy or the emotion that we connect to those experiences or that we give to those experiences. Otherwise, they're not relevant. And every time you repeat the story, you're connecting your emotions back to that story and you're reliving it. And your nervous system constantly has to go through this traumatic experience with you in order to protect you from what is not happening. And to be mindful essentially means just being intentional, being more aware, and being more awake to each moment and being fully engaged in what is happening in your surroundings at the present moment. And then you accept what is happening and you do not judge. Judgment comes from the mind. The word ment, which is meant, at the end of the word judge, it means the mind. The mind is casting judgment upon a situation versus accepting and allowing and flowing with what is currently happening and staying in the now. And you're mostly casting judgment based off a previous experience that you are having or that you've had, and you're bringing it into your present. But you have to be more aware. And the more you are aware, the more awake you will be to each moment that you are given. And you can fully engage with the people that are presently showing up to love you, with the people that are showing up to give you a new experience, to create a new reality with you and for you. You can be fully engaged with what is currently happening right now in your life. Number two, you can exercise. There are certain exercises that you can do that will help you release trauma, release the stagnation, because there's really nothing but stagnated energy out of your body. And also, too, there are certain exercises that you can release that stagnated energy from around your heart, from around your lungs. I believe that things that happen in our body with our organs It's really a lot of stagnated energy. And that stagnated energy gets trapped inside of our body and it wants to go somewhere. It's free flowing energy, it's free flowing current. You are an electrical magnetic field, and you have free flowing current that's moving throughout your body. And when that current becomes stagnated, it stays in a particular place. And it's just like stagnated water. If you've ever been to a pond and you see a pond and it's not moving, that means that that water is stagnated or stagnant. And there's no life in stagnated water. There's no live fish. There's no nothing that can swim inside of that water because it's stagnant. There's no oxygen. There's no current. There's nothing flowing there. And so when energy gets trapped inside of the body, it affects parts of your organ and it affects your nervous system. So exercising helps to get and to release that stagnated energy out. It helps to open up your heart, and it also helps to open up your lung. And it helps to also your kidneys to filter out. If you've ever been exercising, and if you've ever just really been just putting in the work, and you come home, or when you finish exercising, you go immediately straight to go release. You're releasing the toxins. You're releasing that stagnated energy. You're releasing the flow out of you. And when you do practice exercising, it helps to improve your health. It helps you to stay fit. And it helps your nervous system as well. There are some things that you can do. You can walk, you can shake. There's a doctor that coined, that made up this system, or that deals with trauma. It's called trauma release exercises. And some of the things that he put in there, one of them is to stand. You can stand with your feet hip width apart and knees slightly bent. That's number one. You can also do folding forward. That means to slowly bend forward at the hips and allowing your upper body to hang loosely towards the floor. And you can dangle your arms towards the floor. And number three that he used with these exercises to heal trauma is to shake. Begin shaking your body from side to side or up and down. Those things help to release trauma. I remember when I was in my acting class, and my acting coach at that time, before we even began, we did an exercise. And one of the exercises that we did was shake. She had all of us stand up and we just began to shake our bodies, shake our hands, our legs, our feet, our head, until we release the anxiety. Because if you've ever went to any type of acting school or anything that you have to stand in front of the public and speak, it can cause a level of anxiety. And so she had us shaking to release the energy. And we began to shake and release the energy, release the anxiety energy, the fear of being on a public platform and having to act or perform in front of an audience. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is proper nutrition. What you eat, you become.